Hello all. Hope you all are doing great and welcome back to No Ma'am YouTube channel. This is third video on AZ104 lab series and this lab is about manage governance via Azure policy. So in simple terms, if you are about to understand what this lab is about, so we'll be creating some rules or some conditions in form of Azure policy. And whenever you want to create any Azure resources, you need to follow that rule. And if you follow that rule, the resource will be created. If not, you'll get an error telling that we are not able to create. So this is as simple as that, nothing much. So if you are watching this lab series for the first time, in our channel we have a AZ104 lab playlist, so please check it out. And well, to do this lab we need three weapons. So one is Azure portal with admin access and a web browser, and finally a strong internet connection. That's it, no big deal. So let's get started and make our hands dirty. So if you have any questions during this lab, shoot them in the comment section. And also in comment section I put this particular lab GitHub repository link. So if you want to follow along, you can open that link and follow it through. So that's it. So I'll share my screen. Just a second. So hope everyone can see my screen. If you are about to just ping in chat. So this is the link which we are a lab which we are doing today. So the lab is about manage governance via Azure policy. So like I mentioned, we need to have a Azure portal access with admin privilege. So I have that. So let's get started. So here, this lab is divided into three tasks. So task one is create and assign tags via Azure portal. So like we mentioned, we were about to create rules. So that rules were creating in terms of tags. Okay, then enforce tagging via an Azure policy. So in second step, what we'll do, first we'll create tags manually, then we'll create one Azure policy to do the same, and then finally we'll apply that tagging via Azure policy. So these are the three simple tasks, and the same you can observe via this architecture diagram. So task one, we are just creating tags. So the tag name is role and the value is infra. And in task two, the same thing we are doing as a Azure policy. Then we are assigning this particular no roles and this policy to a storage account. Okay, yes. So we'll start with task one. To do that, what we need to do, we need to log into Azure portal, and then we need to start a session with PowerShell. So what I'll do, so there are two ways to do this. So one, directly you can launch Cloud Shell from Azure portal by clicking on this button, Shell button, and you can select this. So, or there is another way, you can directly visit shell.azure.com. So here you can select this. So if you are using them for the first time, you'll get a prompt like this. So here I'll select PowerShell. Here, you need to select subscription. So if you have multiple subscriptions, you can select from drop down like this. If you're having only one subscription, you can go for the default one. So for now, I'm selecting development subscription, and I'll say click on create storage. It will take a moment. Okay. Meanwhile, if you have any queries, you can put it in comments. just doing refresh sort of thing. So I think it is created. Let me refresh and wait. So now it is creating. Okay. See, and now I have my shell is ready, PowerShell. So what I need to do in the second step, I need to do df see to see the storage account subscription and all. So when I do df, so this is the details I got. So here I this is where I'm interested in. So I'll copy this line and I'll paste it in my notepad. So this is just to identify the storage account. If you go to this link, right? So here this is mentioned. So this thing we need in our this is the storage account details actually. So that we need. Okay. Then what is the next step? So we need to select the storage account which we have created right now. So what I'll do, I'll go back to portal. Not this here. So I'll search for storage accounts. In our case, we have only one. The problem is like when you're doing it for multiple times and when you're having applications running in Azure, you might see lot of storage accounts. In that time, it is difficult for you to filter. So that is where we copied this, and this is the ID. So it is ending with EA. So if you see EA, this is the storage account which we just created. So that is why we copied there. So that is fine. So now what we'll do, I'll just click on this and I'll go back to instructions. So here in the storage account blade, we have this. And now what we need to do, we need to go to this resource group and there we need to go to tags. So again, go back to portal. So this is under resource group Cloud Shell Storage Central India. So I'll open this in a new window. Okay. So here we have the tag section. So for now, what we need to do here, we need to add tags. So what are the tags? The tag name should be role and the value is infra. Okay, role infra. Then I'll click on apply. So it will take a moment and now you can see this, right? So it is added here. So if you just want to double check, you can refresh and it will be there, right? So now I have created this. So this is the task one. So what we have done, so we have created these tags, and whenever we are creating any resource, we are telling this these tags are mandatory. So now the same thing will do through Azure policy. So how we do that? So I'll search for policy here from Azure portal. Okay. So in that policy authoring section, there is a definition. Okay, authoring. So this is the definition section. So I'll click on this. We're just following this official instructions which are given. But the only problem is like instead of just copy pasting and executing the steps, so try to understand what we are doing and why we are doing that, so that it will make some sense, right? So yes, so now we have under definition. So in this we need to select only tags, right? So what I'll do in all tags, so I'll uncheck all and I'll search for tags. So tag is somewhere here. Okay, I'll click. So now it is the category is only tags, so I filtered that. So in that, so what we need require a tag and its value on resource. So this is the first one we need. So what we'll do, I'll click on that. Then we need to assign this. Okay, so I'll click on assign. So then here is important thing. So what we need to do in the scope section, like they mentioned, so you need to select your subscription and then resource groups, respective resource groups. So here I have two subscriptions, so I select development, which I started, and then resource group. So this is the resource group which we are working on, right? There only we have added tags as well, right? So that is what we are doing. Then I'll click on select, right? So what are the further instructions? So I selected subscription and resource group, and then in the basics itself we need to create a name, assignment name and description. So this is the name. So here they have one name, required tag and value on resource. I'll replace with this required role tag with infra value, which is apt for that. So similarly, in description, I'll copy paste this. So it is again the same. So instead of using the generic ones, particular policy, what we are doing, so we are customizing as per our requirement. So initially we started right creating tag with name as role and value as infra. So that is what we are again trying to say. So we require a role tag which is having a value of infra. So in description also we are mentioning the same. So assigned by, so here it is taking my default name, so that is fine. I'll go back to next. So in next, do we need anything? Okay, only in parameters we need to add this value again. So in advanced there are no changes. I'll click on next. Here, so we are doing the same. So what is that? Tag name is role and the value is infra, right? Role and infra. Then comes the remediation. Okay, so in remediation section, so we need to keep this box unchecked. So by default it is unchecked, we are not making any change over there. So leave the create managed identity checkbox. So that is where we just kept it like that. And then what we'll do, we'll just say review and create, and then create. So ideally it may take 5 to 15 minutes of time. uh, Sometimes it may happen very quickly as well. So let's wait for it. And as we have created this, okay, so I'll keep this window like this, and what I'll do, I'll just open this in policies in new window and we'll see. So we'll go back to our resource group, and this is the resource group which we are working. And if you come back and then settings, if you look at policies, it has to appear here. So if you see here, so it is appearing. What is that? Required role tag with infra value, which we have just created, right? So it came up here, right here, right? So I'll go back and see for the further instruction. So this is done. Okay. Now what we need to do, navigate back to resource group, and then here we are trying to do create a new storage account, right? Okay. So what we'll do, I'll go back to my resource group, okay, somewhere here, and I'll say create. Just give me a second. So it's a resource group, okay. Or what else I can do, I can create a new storage account from here. Resource group, everything is same. So here I need to provide a resource group name. So role infra test storage account 1, right? So there is the name I have given. So what they didn't do also is applied on specific policy. So we are just providing the random name and we'll say create. See, now we got some error. So what it is telling? So request required role tag within value. That is where the thing is, right? We have enforced it by creating a policy saying that whenever you want to create a resource, it has to uh, be with these parameters or tags. So the tag is like role and the value is infra. So this particular policy is stopping me to create a new storage account, which means our task is working basically. So okay, then what we have done, so we have understood where it is why it is happening and all. So now again we need to go back to Azure portal and then policy. So here, so somewhere here, so these are the policy definitions we have. So policy, and then under instead of definitions, now we'll go for assignments, right? So now I'm with the assignment section. So in the list of assignment, click on ellipsis icon and then row representing required a tag with policy. Okay. So I'll just refresh because ideally what we need to do, yeah, this is what we need to get, right? Required tool role with tag infra value. So if you are worried about what this ellipsis icon, it is nothing but this corner icon, right? So what I'll do, I'll click on delete assignment. This is what they are telling, right? So delete assignment. So I'll say yes, because what we have done, we have created one rule that it has to follow these tagging policy, and then what we have done, we have just removed that, right? So okay, then click assign policy and specify the scope. Okay, so again, and I click assign policy and then scope, the which is exactly similar to the previous one. So here I'll select my subscription and then resource group. I'll say select. Okay. Then to specify policy definition, what we need to do, inherit a tag from the resource group if missing. Okay. So to specify policy definition. Okay. So here there are a lot of policy definitions which are available. So in that, what we need to do, we need to select this button and then search for inherited. Okay, okay. So I'll copy this particular policy definition. So if I paste it, I got it here. So what I'll do, I'll say add. Okay. So then I got these options again similar to our previous step, assignment name and description. So in by default, for now it is with the default one. So what I'll do, I'll override with this particular policy. So inherit a tag from the resource. So what I'll do, I inherit the rule tag. Just give me a second. Okay. I am not getting this. Okay, okay, okay. Sorry. To change here. So inherit the role tag, and then in description, I'll say inherit the role tag. The similar description I'm providing here. That's it. Now what I'll do, I'll just check for parameters. Okay. So now I'm under basic section. So basics, I have made sufficient changes. In advanced, I don't need to do any change. So in tag, in parameters, and say role. Okay, are done. Then in remediations, so what I need to do, remediation task enabled. Okay, I'll check this box in so that it will create a remediation task. The policy is same, inherited tag from resource if it is missing. Okay, then so yeah, that's all I have for now. So what I'll do, I'll click on review and create. You're getting it right. If you are not getting, or if you stuck somewhere, or any issues by following, just shoot the issues at the comment box. Okay, now remediation task is created. Okay, fine. So now what we'll do, we'll try to create a new storage account once again. So here in our previous step, we got this error, right? So what I'll do, I'll copy this resource name. If not, I'll create one second. Okay, I'll say create. So subscription is same, resource group is same. So in storage account, I'll say uh, storage account or lab 2b. Fine. So I'll just say review. I'll say create. Now it is initializing and the deployment is in progress. So that is where the issue is. So once the new account is provisioned, so then what we'll do, so now it is not stopping at the creation phase. So validation passed and deployment is in progress. What we have to do, once the deployment is successful, we create once we create the storage account basically, then we need to go to that particular storage account which is created, and then we need to add that tag, right? We'll check in a second. So yeah, deployment is completed. I'll say click on go to resource. So if I go for tags, see, you got this. How you got this? So we have enforced this rule in our previous step. That is where our deployment is created. So previously we enforced that rule, you know, for creating manually. So that is where Azure is stopping us to create the storage account. Then we have customized this thing, and we have removed that policy, and we have made it automatic. So whenever the resource is coming into my place, so we are telling it to create add these tags. So that is what happened now, right? So one more important thing is, like, whenever you do any lab, right, it is important to remove all these resources which you have created. So I'll stop it here, and you try to delete this resource and try to do this lab 1 or 2 times. Whenever, if you are having any issues, please reach out to us. You can reach out to us through our mail, or you can put your queries in the comment section as well. So that's all, guys. Thank you so much for joining and listening to us. Uh, if you like our content, please like, share, and subscribe to our Nomem YouTube channel. It will be very good help for us. Thank you. We'll see you in the next.